That cheap printer you bought? It wasn't a good deal. It was the first step in a very carefully designed trap. The printer is the bait, and the ink is where they get you. You feel it every time that low ink warning flashes, way sooner than you'd expect. That little feeling of being ripped off, it's real, and it's completely by design. You can snag an entry-level inkjet printer for $50, but the ink can easily run you hundreds of dollars a year. It's a business model that's been perfected to turn you into a customer for life, whether you like it or not. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the DRM chips, the subscription models, and the lawsuits that expose the shocking truth behind a product that's literally designed to fail you. We'll unpack the tech, the money, and the legal fights that prove this entire industry is built on one simple, deceptive idea. To understand the printer scam, we have to go back in time to the invention of the disposable razor. The razor and blades model is brilliant in its simplicity. Sell the durable part, the razor handle, for a super low price, sometimes even at a loss. Then, you make all your money on the part the customer has to buy over and over again, the blades. Printer companies have this strategy down to a science. They'll sell you the printer for a price that's sometimes less than it costs them to make it. The real money isn't in the printer, it's in the ink. For a company like HP, supplies like ink and toner have historically accounted for a huge chunk of their printing revenue. The printer itself is just a delivery system for a never-ending stream of pricey ink, and the price is just astronomical. When you break it down by volume, branded printer ink is one of the most expensive liquids on Earth. Depending on the cartridge, that works out to anywhere from $1,600 to over $9,600 per gallon. Yes, that's more expensive than some vintage champagnes for ink. While the comparison is a bit dramatic, the point stands. You are paying a massive premium. A standard HP black ink cartridge might sell for around $20 to $40, but it contains a tiny amount of actual ink. The markup is where the con really comes into focus. While companies keep the exact numbers under lock and key, industry estimates suggest the raw ink inside a cartridge costs just pennies to produce. Even with the plastic, the chip, and assembly, the manufacturing cost for a cartridge that sells for $40 is a tiny fraction of the retail price. We're talking markups that can reach over 1,000%. Most of what you're paying for isn't the product, it's the business model. So, if the ink is so cheap to make, why can't you just buy it from someone else? This is where the scam gets technical. To protect their incredibly profitable ink empire, printer makers have built a sophisticated system of digital locks to control what you can put in the machine you supposedly own. It all comes down to a tiny microchip on every official ink cartridge. This chip talks to your printer, verifying that you're using a genuine, manufacturer-approved product. If you try to use a third-party cartridge, which can be up to 50% cheaper, that chip is the bouncer at the door. Enter dynamic security, a term made famous by HP. Around 2016, the company started pushing firmware updates to its printers over the internet. These weren't just for performance. They were designed to check the cartridge chip, and if it wasn't an official HP chip, it could block the printer from working at all. Your printer, working perfectly one day with a cheaper cartridge, could suddenly flash an error message the next, refusing to do its job. This practice has sparked a firestorm of legal challenges. Lawsuits have been filed accusing HP of creating a monopoly with firmware updates pushed in late 2022 and early 2023. Plaintiffs argue HP is illegally blocking competition to force everyone to buy their expensive ink. And this isn't the first time. HP has faced similar lawsuits for years, resulting in settlements in the United States, Australia, and Europe. But even after paying out millions, the practice continues, leading to new waves of legal action from angry consumers. And it gets even more frustrating. In some of the worst cases, users report that their all-in-one printers refuse to do anything else, like scanning or faxing, if the ink is low, empty, or from a third party. You don't need a drop of ink to scan a document, yet the device is held hostage, demanding a ransom of an approved ink cartridge. As if digital locks weren't enough, the industry is now pushing its master plan, making you subscribe to your own printer. HP's Instant Ink program is the poster child. On the surface, it sounds convenient. Pay a monthly fee based on how many pages you print, and your printer automatically orders new ink for you. But that convenience hides new, more sophisticated traps. The cartridges you get are special subscription cartridges. They are remotely monitored, and the moment you cancel your subscription, HP can disable them. It doesn't matter if the cartridge is full of ink you've technically already paid for. It will stop working. This very practice has been a subject of intense criticism and part of broader class action lawsuits against the company. The subscription model is the ultimate expression of the razor and blade strategy. HP's CEO, Enrique Lores, has been surprisingly open about it, stating that the company's long-term goal is to make printing a subscription. He has described customers who don't subscribe or use HP-branded supplies as a bad investment. They don't want you to own a printer. They want you to have a printing utility bill that you pay them forever.